This week, I will also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life. We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based.
The civil rights issue of our time is DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. You can't romanticize the battles of the past and not deal with institutionalized bigotry and discrimination today. To fight for DEI in 2025 is like fighting for voting rights in 65, making sure that we are not tolerating discrimination.
Felony charges related to the misuse and embezzlement of nearly $750,000. She's also accused of a cover-up and wage theft. She was fired from SF Safe in January after an audit. The organization closed its doors after nearly 50 years of service. The president of the Board of Supervisors, Aaron Peskin, called for an audit more than a year ago.
Incidents like this vastly erode public trust.
Investigators from the DA's office say the money was meant to help fight crime. Worthy was booked into San Francisco County Jail, is expected to be formally charged in court later this week.
All right, but I'm gonna pull up the Fernandez joints. But Saul, you sent me this. Did you wanna comment on this before I pull up the next two clips for the segment?
Well, I just want to let them know, like, all aspects of public service, be it nonprofits, universities, or obviously, you know, state and local government or whatnot in particular, even federal government, where you got this going on. My thing is, I cannot wait until something comes out with BLM in particular. You know, it seems like everybody been getting their issue, but we need to really bring back the attention to them so that they can get their issue, because they wouldn't hide it. Like, don't nobody know.
This council, in order to get respect as a black woman, I'm not afraid of anybody here.
She's actually an immigrant.
When I make a mistake, I will be clear. I don't hate you as a white woman. I don't hate you as a white man. I am sick and tired of this body so stupidly racially divided, so afraid, so depraved. People with...
And we were making an argument when we covered this, like, this is just an emotional outburst. She's supposed to be in here arguing policy.
No faith, because they are afraid of they're losing their investment. They're afraid of bargaining. They're afraid of leveraging. These people have... Oh my God, I can't even call you cowards, because desperation deserves mercy. Here's a redistricting. Fine, we give it to a white woman. Can we all get along? Can we get together? Can we love each other now? Can we make sure that black and brown babies don't die? Can we make sure that cops don't kill before people are proven?
This is why we don't elect these Keishas and put them in office. Like, do you really want her? This is the argument we were making. Do you really want this person arguing your interests? Quiet Storm says it was season 2.
Innocent? Can we do that? No, 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 no. Because this body crucifies you first because of allegations. This is not a court. You don't get to crucify people before they're proven guilty.
All right, we can stop that there. I didn't notice that she was married to a convicted murderer after he was sentenced to life in prison. But what I was saying to Tito before we went on the air, I didn't notice either. This just came out, I guess, now that Trump's enough. Is that
federal charges, Boston City Councilor Tania Fernandes Anderson has returned to City Hall. That's where we find NBC Boston's political reporter, Matt Pritchard. He's live for us. Matt, good afternoon to you. You spoke with the councilor. What did she have to say to you?
Well, Colton, the counselor certainly stayed quiet when it came to the charges as well as her arrest last week, but did open up when it came to calls for her resignation and whether or not Boston City Council should be putting forward an ethics committee.
I'm not going to be able to hear you.
Days removed from an arrest on federal wire fraud and theft charges. And District 7 Councilor Tania Fernandes Anderson is back at City Hall. Council navigating its final session of 2024 under a cloud of distraction, with Fernandes Anderson addressing an alleged kickback scheme just steps from the council chamber.
That is not something you talk on, right?
How has it been receiving resignation calls from your colleagues? How have you felt about that?
People have the right to their opinion. I think that they should afford, the privilege that everyone has to due process. I'm not taking it personal. I think that politics comes with certain performances.
To date, Mayor Michelle Wu and Councilors Durkin, Flynn, and Coletta Zapata have called for Fernandes Anderson to step aside. Flynn also seeking the addition of an ethics committee.
There's a cloud over the body. We must provide positive leadership.
How do you feel like that's going to be received by your colleagues, as currently we're kind of going through an ethics crisis?
Some have said it's long overdue, and I agree with them. Others have said it's not needed.
Do you support that? Do you think that's something the council should have?
I have to probably give it a chance. I haven't had the chance to allow the counselor who filed it to explain his, thought process on that.
And while council attempts to move ahead with its day-to-day,
and the council's unit,
Fernandes Anderson is preparing for a legal battle, acknowledging the toll the last week has taken.
Certainly, you can imagine.
And as you heard there, that is the final full meeting of the Boston City Council for 2024. All eyes now shifting to 2025, when Councilor Tania Fernandes Anderson will be due back in court.
All right, perfect. All right, that's the full collection of clips with no segue. Saul, all yours, sir.
You know what? People are people are tired of all that gaslighting. As the techniques of any sort of delusional person or narcissistic person will use. And it's all catching up to them. The rule of law is the greatest equalizer to shut all that shit up. I know Kevin Samuels, got popularized because of sign language, which is shame, insults, guilt, and it needs to be right. I would like to add at all costs. And acting out and lying, which is signal. You know what I mean? You see all of these different features that she got, but guess what? Nobody cares about any of that. All that stuff is falling on deaf ears about being oppressed and all that other craziness or whatever case may be. What have you done for the people? Are you ethically doing it? Are you managing funds to the point of, proper fiduciary duty? Are you getting incentives outside of, public trust that would more or less cloud your judgment? And this is all people care about. You know what I mean? So, she's probably going to say, oh, Boston's a racist city and this, that, and other. But, bitch, you over there. You got your nose far up the ass because you are so into wanting to be white proximate that, you don't care. Nobody cares about any of this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I hope she does rot in hell or jail. As far as I'm concerned, I have no sympathy for her whatsoever. And all of these attack dogs can get what's coming to them. I land my plane there.
This right here is the end result of black people allowing themselves to be gaslit with that somebody who look like me bullshit that a lot of these black bitches be talking. I don't know if they are aware, but there's plenty of people that come from other places in the world that quote unquote look like you, but don't share any of the same interests that you share. And then they come here, they get themselves naturalized, or they come here and have kids. And then they get in office and they enact a whole bunch of policies and agendas that go totally against your whole existence. but you so goddamn impressed with the visual, you so impressed with symbolism, and you want somebody who look like you. So the Democratic Party say, okay, bitch, here you go. Here goes somebody that look like you. Here goes somebody that look like you that's go vote to put billions of your tax dollars in immigrants' hands while you drive over potholes every day. That's what this the net result of that shit. And you only go see more as long as black people still, come with this goofy ass representation matters angle and believe that shit.
No, I'm with you on that. I think we had this conversation. I said the days of symbolic victories are over. Fuck a symbol.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want a piece of policy and the economics along like I don't give a damn about any sort of symbolic victory. But what it looks like and what it's going to do for people's esteem. We don't cut the check. Contract, the same line of questioning.
Well, from the name Fernandez, okay, cool, got it. I was thinking like Saul took the words right out of my mouth. You in Boston, you in one of the most openly racist cities you can possibly be in, and you're throwing a temper tantrum to get things done, and you have to throw out the hot button word as a black woman. You're not, at least not ADOS. So cosplaying, hell yeah.
More people inventing useful things, like Mr. Bobby Ashimura, who wins our Max Headroom Product of the Month award for coming up with a little attachment you plug into your TV and it warns you that the commercial break is coming by automatically switching off your set for 5 seconds. And here to demonstrate it for us is Mr. Ashimura himself.